Okay, so I'm here in Leandro, Texas. I think this cemetery is called North Baghdad Road Cemetery, but this is where they shot the opening scene of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The headstone right here, extremely recognizable. You can't mistake it for any other one that's in this cemetery. Easy to find this headstone, and of course this one here is also very visible in that shot as well. Right over here there would have been a headstone with two bodies that were on it. So the shot itself kind of starts in a little closer, a little tighter. You'd have had the two bodies that were here, and then it slowly kind of backs out. That's where this one becomes very visible. And then it kind of backs out to, I don't know, right about here I would say. And then you can see the two bodies clearly on top of the headstone in that shot. This is the only scene that they used the cemetery for, was the opening one. For those of you that are looking for this, if you come here trying to track it down, easy way to find this location, there's a building that's right here. It's right diagonally across this little gravel path from it. And then it's sort of on the edge. If I swing back around here, the cemetery ends over there. So it's sort of off to the edge of it as well. But anyone who's seen the movie, you're definitely gonna recognize this headstone from that opening scene. And it's sort of sloped, it's sort of like slanted, the top of it. I don't know if it's been weathered. I don't know if I can zoom in on that. It's hard to see what I'm shooting because I'm getting such a glare, the sun's setting in the background. But it has sort of a slope, and they shot it from right about where I started when I started filming the scene, right about from here. So you get that headstone, this one, and of course the one that they put in for the movie. But that's pretty much all that they used this location for. Opening scene of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, I'm in Bastrop, Texas, right outside of the building that was used as the gas station in the movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So the van would have pulled right up onto this cement slab that's right here in front of me. The gas pumps would have been right here. They're obviously no longer there. And if you remember in the movie, they tried to get gas, and the attendant of the station said they were allowed. But they even have the bucket and the stool from where the guy was washing the windows while they were trying to get gas at the station when they were sitting there waiting. And if you look up on top of the building, the sign, I'm almost certain that's what the sign looked like during filming. So it looks like they either restored it, but this actually went under a renovation, so it's pretty close to what it looked like during filming. It's a little different. There's no soda machine out there. Later in the movie, when Sally's being chased by Leatherface, which is right over here, she comes running down there. She can't get in that door. She does get into this door right here, but I'll take you over there in a second. And this is also the angle that they shot when they first pulled up, when Sally and Pam jump out. You can see the gas station sign would have been right here. So that scene I just mentioned a moment ago, Sally and Leatherface would have come running from right out beyond that grass right there. This is all thick brush that's over there. And if you remember in the movie, when she was running, she was having a hard time getting through there. Her hair was getting stuck, and it's really like that still to this day, like 40 years later. But anyway, so they come running out of the brush. Leatherface is chasing, and they come running across this grass up to alongside of the gas station, and that's when she runs down there to what I just showed you. And I'll take a step out back here and show you something else that's pretty interesting. I'm gonna take you out to that van that's right there. Does it look familiar? Well, it should. It's not the original. It's a replica of the van that was used in the movie. Same year, same make and model. I believe the only thing that was different is they said the doors slid on the one that was in the movie. But you know, the color and everything. So if you open it up, this would have been similar to what you saw in the movie. So the hitchhiker would have been sitting back here. You get Franklin would have been right here in his wheelchair. Sally and Pam would have been sitting like right up here against the back of the seats, and then Kurt and Jerry would have been driving. Well, one of them was driving, both of them were riding up in front. But this is the inside of the replica of the van that was used. It's not the original, but it's very much just like the one that was used. It's kind of cool. So they have it sitting out here. You remember in the movie, the hitchhiker smeared blood on the back. And for those of you who are enthusiasts of this movie, you want to come see this location, I'm going to show you something that's pretty cool. Besides the fact that you can eat barbecue in the gas station that's behind me, these buildings right here, I think there's 4 of them. These buildings out here are cabins. You can stay here. And what I was told is they actually put a projection out on the back, out back here somewhere where you can watch the movie. So I thought that was really cool. But bunch of the, well, actually couple scenes, two scenes. One of the opening ones when they first arrive here, and closer to the end when Leatherface is chasing Sally, were all shot right here at this location in Bastrop. Okay, so I'm here in Kingsland, Texas, and this house right here was the original house that was used in the movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now the movie wasn't filmed here in Kingsland, Texas. This house was actually in Round Rock, Texas on Quick Hill. They cut this house up in about 6 pieces and transported it here, and it's now currently a restaurant. But you can eat here. I'm planning on doing that tonight. I'll do a walk around and show you exteriors and what everything looks like. It's in a really cool little area here. You can see there's an old, like an inn or something that's over there. There's sort of like a garden area that's over here, and then on the other side of these cars over here, there's some train tracks. But it's sort of it's a really nice little setting. But this is the house. This is where it currently it sets, Kingsland, Texas, and that's the original house that was used in the movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the front of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. There's that bay window, obviously the front door right there, and the steps that they go up. So this is where Pam, Kurt, and Jerry all would have gone to the front door. Of course, Pam and Kurt came here first, and Kurt went to the front door to see if he could find help. He heard the generator running. Pam waited out for him. Actually, behind where I'm filming, she was sitting on a swing, and then eventually she went in, and then later Jerry came looking for them too. But this is the house that was out on Quick Hill Road. They moved the whole thing. I read that they cut it up into like 6 or 7 different pieces to transport it, moved it. So it's a few hours away from Quick Hill. They brought it out here. It's a really cool little town that sits in now. It's called Kingsland, Texas, and this is what they did with it. They put like an addition off here on the side, which is pretty cool. But the main part of the house is right here. And I'll take a walk around and so I'm at the top of the steps in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. And when I spin back around here, this is the window that Sally jumped out. So Leatherface would have chased her up these steps right here. That's the front door. They would have come up these steps towards where I'm filming, and he would have been behind her with a chainsaw. She would have jumped out these windows and landed outside. There's also another scene where she's in the house at another time where she comes up the steps. She goes this direction. There used to be like a wall. I think there was 2 doors. There was a door here and a door here. She chooses the second door, which takes her into what was it was the grandpa's room in the house. So if you remember, she ran in here and she ran up to a chair right about where this one is, and then realizes he's dead. There's a dead body, and then when she spins back around, I think there was like a grandmother or something in a chair that was right here, and then she runs back out. But this is the upstairs of the house, so it's really cool. It's like a bar and a lounge area that's up here, and over here on the wall are some pictures from the movie, some memorabilia. So it's really cool. This is the room that I'm gonna actually be eating in. I'm gonna be eating right about where Leatherface is. I'm right in that corner. So kind of funny. So these are all upstairs. And then again, if I spin back around here, here's a staircase. There's the windows. But yeah, this used to be, must have had like 2 rooms originally in this house here. There were 2 doorways. That wasn't there. This doorway would have led to that room. The other doorway would have led to what they showed as Grandpa's room, which is straight ahead. She'll be here shortly. Okay, I'm pointing to what's left of Quick Hill Road. This is in Round Rock, Texas. This is the remains of the road that used to be here, that was used in the movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Straight ahead, as I point to like right there where those trees are, the road actually is cut off right there, but it used to extend way beyond that back when this movie was filmed. That was back in the 70s, 1974. But here in Round Rock over the years, there's been all kinds of development around this area. So I don't know the year that this road was cut off, but this is the way it looks now. This is 2018. So you can see the remains of the pavement with the grass growing through. And then when I swing around, it extends up over the hill. So this hill, this knoll up here is Quick Hill. And this is obviously hence the name Quick Hill Road. So this is what's left of the of the road itself. Now, as far as what was shown of this scene, I'm sorry, this view in the movie, you would have seen this angle, the way I'm pointing, only at the very end when Sally had jumped in the back of the pickup truck when she was trying to get away from Leatherface. He would have been up on top of that hill spinning around with the chainsaw at the very end of the movie. So this is the only time that you see this angle of this road from where I'm standing right now. The house, the old farmhouse, would have been right up here, and I'm going to walk up there in a moment. This is Quick Hill, and what's cool and kind of disappointing about coming to this area is so much of this land has been developed around it. I don't know if you can see where I'll swing around here, okay? So I think these are like luxury apartments or condos. There's all kinds of buildings over there, and right over the crest of Quick Hill, it's been cut off with a highway. So the cool part about it is the actual land that the house sat on itself still remains, and I'll show you here in a moment. There's not much of it because of that road I told you that cuts it off up there, but there is enough that you can still see where the house once stood and where some of the scenes from the movie were shot. But this is probably the best vantage point to show you everything that was filmed right here at this one location based on what's here and what remains. So the house once stood on this land, and I'll show you in another video straight ahead. This would have been the driveway. The driveway would have been right here, and it went straight back to the house. So you can tell it's almost sort of framed. You got a tree here, and you actually got a light pole. There's another one right over here. These are still here. You can actually see these in the movie. But back in 1974 when they were filming it, the drive would have gone straight back, and you could actually kind of see there's some cattle up there now. If you can see where I'm filming, or where I'm pointing, I mean right about there, some cattle. That's where the location for the house was, that I'll show you in another video. This driveway would have went straight back. So this also is the angle that you would have seen when Sally was trying to run from the house. She was coming down the road, or I'm sorry, the driveway, with the hitchhiker chasing her with Leatherface behind her. This is also where the semi would have come. There would have been a bend in the road right here. This road obviously doesn't extend any further than what you see here. But the semi would have hit the hitchhiker right up there. The semi would have been parked here. The semi driver would have gotten out, and he would have. That's when Leatherface was coming after him with the chainsaw. He threw a wrench and hit him with the wrench. That would have happened right here. This is where Leatherface would have been laying when the chainsaw, when he got hit by the wrench and fell, and the chainsaw cut him. It's also where Sally would have gotten in the back of the pickup truck. So she would have gotten in the back of the pickup truck right about here, and she would have took off in that direction. So this road would have extended way beyond where it does. Right now it only goes maybe a quarter of a mile up, and it's cut off. And then when I swing back around here, this is where Leatherface would have been doing the chainsaw dance, where he's spinning around with the chainsaw after she got away. This would have been cleared out, and the sun was setting. and Sally would have been riding off in the back of the truck. Okay, I'm standing on the location that would have been used in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the house. The house that Leatherface and his family would have lived in. It would have been right about where I'm standing right here. And the driveway for the house was straight ahead. So just envision there being a driveway that went right along through here, and there was fields on either side. Now, as I mentioned in some of the other videos that I've made today, and I'm not sure the order that I'm putting them in, so if I'm repeating myself, you have to excuse me for it. But this location itself is being encroached upon by development. So I'm real thankful that I got to see it before it was all developed, but the angle that I'm shooting right now looks like it did probably back in 1974 when they were filming. When I spin around and show you some other things, you're going to see differently. All the development there. You got a building right there. The freeway is right there with some more buildings over there. And this land, you can see that billboard right there. This land is for sale, so unfortunately its days are probably numbered. But this would have been the spot that the house sat on. Now you have to envision in 1974 when they filmed here, this is what it looked like. So all the buildings and freeway and everything that were right around it now weren't here at that time. So this was a real rural setting. This house sat up on this hill called Quick Hill, and it is actually a knoll, like a knoll. I'll show you in another shot. You can see how it does sit up on the hill. But this is what's left of it. So honestly, I know I mentioned that it's for sale. It hasn't been developed yet. There are some occupants of this land. They're called cattle. So you can see they've got their water, some food, got their hay, but there are cattle. This section of land is fenced in, and there's some cattle just down the other side of those trees. When I came up the hill, I could see them there. So that's what's here currently. But as I mentioned, this land's for sale, so it's probably going to be developed. But the house would have been right in here. It would have been right in this general area, which has now been kind of cleared out and used for the feeding and watering of the cows. You know, there's two ways to look at it, in my opinion, about how I feel about the house actually not being here. The first thing is, it stinks because it would be really cool to come back to this area, see the house, the original house sitting in its original setting, and getting to visit a movie location from that standpoint. On the flip side of it, it's probably good what was done with it was actually done, because for those of you who don't know, the house was actually dismantled and it was moved to Kingsland, Texas, which is where I'm heading after this, and it was reassembled, and it's actually now a restaurant. So it was probably saved by doing that, because had it sat out here in this land, you know, yes, it could have been preserved. Someone could have bought it and took care of it, but chances are it could have been destroyed, it could have been burned, it could have been vandalized, and with all the development around here, it probably wouldn't even be something, you know, zoned for somebody to even live in it any longer. So the good part of that story is you can actually go see the house, even though you can't see it right here on this location. There were a couple outbuildings that were over here as well, and if I remember correctly, when I think it was Kirk and Pam, when they were looking for the swimming hole, they showed the back of the house, so you can see the windmill and the house, and that they were right over there where those buildings are. There's a parking garage, I believe, right there. It would have been like straight ahead was the angle that they used for that. So they were kind of like in a little ravine. It was all dried out. They were looking for a swimming hole, and that's when I think they heard the generator, which was in one of the outbuildings right behind the house here, which brought them over here in the first place. But the house would have been right about where this clearing is, and you know, you have to envision Kurt and Pam walking up to it. Kurt was knocking on the door, and everybody who's seen the movie knows what unfolds after that. But this is what's left of the location of, this is Quick Hill. I'm standing on Quick Hill, and I'll show you some more of this spot here in just a moment.